Hey guys, my name is Jacob Razan with Matthew Ruiz, and today we are going to be talking about social media. Now, social media in many different ways is useful to everyone. With social media, we can integrate new information and we can learn about events that happened. We can talk about we can talk to others whenever they're far away. Although social media has made most of us antisocial, it's not social media itself, but the people who use it and ruin it for others. These bad and inappropriate trends, like twerking to throwing up thug signs, has changed our generation of kids today, as they mimic this on social media. This is why these reasons are why social media is turning us antisocial, and it's turning it into its worst. Let's talk about selfies and how it's an addiction. It causes people to take the picture over and over again to try to take that perfect selfie. One person named Danny Bowman has dropped out of high school and tried to kill himself every time he couldn't get that perfect selfie. He would spend 10 hours every day and take 200 selfies. Now, Independent, an online newspaper, said that a teenager became so obsessed with taking that perfect selfie that he tried to kill himself when his efforts failed. Danny Bowman, which is 19 years old, would spend 10 hours a day taking out 200 photos of himself on his iPhone. This shows that Danny Bowman was so addicted on trying to take that right picture that he couldn't get over it, and that he wouldn't stop until he had that right picture. This is important because it also relates in how much teens spend time on social media, not to communicate, but to become popular. They also stated that he started posting selfies to Facebook at the age of 15, but found his addiction spiraling out of control after his aspirations of being a male model were dashed by rejection at a casting session for an agency in 2011. Though some experts say that selfies are good for expressing mood states and experiences, which is true, others who take too much time on selfies can get addicted to it. Dr. Andrea Letamendi states that self-captured images allow young adults and teens to express their mood states and share important experiences. This shows that people do need selfies, as it can express a lot of things. From selfie representing that you're happy to a selfie representing a protest. However, though that's true, taking too much time on their selfies can lead to an addiction. As Independent says again, but this is a serious problem. It's not a vanity issue, it's a mental health one which has an extremely high suicide rate, which can show that people can still get stuck with this addiction. It just shows that people with OCD will have a low and harder chance of overcoming this addiction. As the idea of becoming popular was trending on social media when social media arrived, some people made bad trends and even events that made other people mimic this on social media. For example, twerking. We've all seen it before, and being the social media users that we are, we can see it even on profiles that contain nothing but twerk. Even people in our grade and our age are twerking. This shows that people's behavior have changed. People going outside and playing catch to people rapping inarticulately and devoting their life to twerking. This is important to the claim because it shows that people can get addicted to this, and it becomes a bad habit. As I said that also young people twerk, here's an article that states that 11-year-old Jamie has been dancing lewdly at her Bakersfield, California middle school. This clearly shows that the other people can become obsessed with twerking, even young teens and preteens. And this is important because it obviously shows that people can get addicted with fame just because of their body, which leads them to antisocialness.
As I said that people are copying twerk, they mimic a lot of stuff on social media, like that dance. But it's not just twerking, it's also smoking weed, thug life, jumping people, beating people up. It's all because of events. Even our new slang has been mimicked by things on social media. Author Matt Rhodes states that you can do things with small groups and have big impact. Though this is true, people can take advantage of this and turn it from good to bad. Some people persuade a person to take a camera and record an innocent person. Next thing you know, the bully gets beat up, yet people still post this. This shows that people can take something good and turn it bad. People get obsessed with trends all the time that it leads to, again, addiction, which leads to people being antisocial. Again, being the social media users that we are, and before twerking was invented, we never even saw videos of that. But after it was, millions of views have been made, and now even we can see twerking, even if we don't search it up. This pulls many people into jealousy, thinking that they can do it, thinking that they can also do that to become famous. So now people are getting pulled into an addiction just because they see a video about something they can do to become popular. Again, addiction leads to antisocialness.
We all know that social media isn't itself, but the people who use it and the people who ruin it. We all become antisocial because of the bad trends and the bad events that are happening on social media.
These major trends, which are selfies, bad trends, and mimicking, has been led to addiction of social media, which affects us all and makes us antisocial. Which brings us to stop communicating with our friends and get more obsessed with the idea of popularity. It damages relationships, which can also lead to depression.
Back again. I will be reading the answers to what our interviewer said, Dr. Andrea Letamendi, which is a psychologist, and she's also an artist. She's famous for making all like those Batman comics and stuff like that. So what's it like being famous on social media? So I asked her that, and she says, I tend to use the word visible or highly visible in terms of the level of popularity on social media. Sometimes being more visible means I can reach out to a larger audience to get help on various things. Sometimes that's very useful, such as where to find certain products or who I can contact for certain things. It can also be very resourceful thing to have on hand. However, there is a negative side, such as receiving negative messages or being harassed online. Also, you have to be careful not to be disclose too much information about yourself, like the town you live or who your family members are. Do you have a feeling that all YouTubers are the ones that are making their viewers antisocial? If not, why? I tend to not use YouTube a lot, but in general, I do not have any evidence that people who are highly visible on social media are making their viewers antisocial. You would need to define what antisocial is. For instance, does antisocial mean more isolated, less social, fewer friends, introverted, or does antisocial mean menacing and mean to others? From what I've seen, social media actually makes people more social and more willing to interact with others and can bring out the best of us. So that's actually the opposite of what my side is. What is it like for people getting addicted to your videos, art, and other stuff? Do you think it makes them antisocial? She said, again, I'm not sure what your definition of antisocial is, but I can say that any kind of addiction can be bad for us. Excessive time spent on watching videos, gaming, or viewing social media can have negative consequences, and if it takes time away from face-to-face socializing or interferes with our ability to complete our work, attend school, or other responsibilities. It's hard to say if something is specific to social media or more of a general concern. For instance, some people would say that that kind of obsession or excessive time spent with an outlet may be damaging to our social functioning. What's your say or suggestion on social media? I support the use of social media, and I think that social media can be helpful in disseminating disseminating useful information, reducing stigma about topics that are hard to talk about, and connecting people who may not know that others are like them. Social media obviously has negative impacts, but the majority of the connections are seen as adaptive rather than maladaptive. What's it like seeing people on your phone on phones all day? What do you think of that? I once read a study that shows our memories are actually poorer than the periods when we don't have phones. For instance, before phones, we would memorize many phone numbers, addresses, zip codes, and important biographical information. But now we don't have to memorize as much. On the other hand, we have our phones as resources and we have access to really important information. I'm a psychologist and so I advocate on the use on social media, Google, Twitter, and YouTube, helping educate people about things like depression and mental health issues. Overall, I believe it's good for us to be able to get help in this way. So that is it for the question. So I'm gonna try to analyze what she's trying to say here. I guess what she's trying to say is if you're just a regular social media user and you like to use social media as a communicating app, and that you just like to see all of the news on Google, on those kind of online newspapers, then it's okay for you. But spending too much time on social media can take you down, and it can make you procrastinate and not make you. It can kind of stop you from doing your work, completing your work. So it makes you procrastinate a lot. So yeah, I mean, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. This is from Dr. Andrea Letamendi. Please check out her website. Just search her up on Google and you'll see her website. She's a scientist, she's a psychologist, and she's a really good artist, I guess, because I see her making those Batman comics and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Please leave a like and goodbye.